Okay, how's that going? Will that overload my things? Also, I'll probably want to turn that down a peg. At that. Okay, that seems to be doing fine. So, I'll probably just wonder if I can force the thing to repop the Okay, does that work now? I think it will. Yes, we're gonna do this. We're gonna play a blast from the very past, Dungeon Keeper. A wonderful game, a game that I have in fact grown up with, as I've said before. Also, let me just quickly tab out of that and back in. So, what you just saw was the intro to Dungeon Keeper. Very well done one for the time. And yeah, we're gonna start a new game. I'm not sure if we'll do the deeper dungeons as well. We'll probably not do this now. It also took a while to set this up, so yeah, getting games set up to stream, especially DOS games, is a pain in the ass. I can tell you that much. Why are we playing this? Well, first off, we've been fixing things in Morrowind for a long time, so now I kind of want to break stuff and invade a unsuspecting, harmless nation. Why the hell not? Also, since I currently have a cold, I sound a bit more hoarse and raspy and lower, and inherently more evil, so I figured this would be a nice way to work that out as well. Yeah, since we haven't done anything here, this is one of Peter Molyneux's early masterpieces. As you can see, he had quite a role in the development. I also have Dungeon Keeper 2, and I will probably also stream that at some point in the future. I will not talk about any later iterations of the Dungeon Keeper name. There are none. Period. I'll also not do too much talking here. At least not before and after the mission, because there is a very, very nice voiceover telling you just how disgustingly good everything is at the moment. So let's just start a new game here. I have a game which has like half the map or so covered already, but we'll start a new game. And of course we'll need to tutorialize this a bit, so we'll get into that. Start a new game. Let me just fix something here. I think I've gone a bit too far with the sounds. Ah, that's a bit much for the headset. It's kind of hard to balance the sounds, really. So, if you want things to be put up a notch, then just put it in the chat. I think that'll do.
Ever smile. Set in the realm of joy, the people of Eversmile are plagued only by aching facial muscles, and not anthrax as we had hoped. Eversmile is a disgusting land of good humor and polite frivolity.
Disgusting, isn't it? This little T here means that it is a tutorial level. I think there are like 5 of those. This is the entire realm. You're usually doing one level at a time, but there are special levels. Sometimes you can find hidden realms in dungeons, or like hidden portals, and sometimes you will actually have bonus levels based on the date. Sadly, we didn't get this set up before Easter, which was one of the reasons why I actually wanted to get this before the Easter holidays. Simply because there are levels that will only open up, for example, during Easter, during Christmas, and other times of the year. Not sure if there's a one for Valentine's Day, but we'll get into this here. In we go. Just click on the flag and you go in. I'm also playing this in Windows, so it's kind of a pain in the ass to actually look at. Okay, the first thing a keeper needs is somewhere to keep gold when it's been mined out of the rock by his imps. Create a treasure room, select the treasure room icon and windows panel, and do something west. Now, flashing green icons mean this is something we'll want to look at. This is mission relevant. This is a message. Click, right click to delete it. That's easy enough. So the game wants us to build a treasure room. Obviously, your first batches of rooms and creatures are not going to be too impressive. Expertly done. Press the right mouse button to turn the pointer back into the hand of evil. This is the hand of evil. We can pick up imps like so, with a left click, and drop them with a right click, and we can slap them with another right click. I want to be careful about that. Your imps do not recover health in this game, as far as I'm aware. Okay. Mine out the gold to the east by tagging the arrow with the left mouse button. Your imps will dig out the gold and carry it back to your treasure room. Lovely. Use the cursor keys to see other areas of the underworld. Rotate and zoom view with the right control and cursor keys. That's also important, especially once you get the symbiosis spell, which puts you actually into a creature. Then you control it. We don't have that yet, I think. Actually, we do. So I can actually turn into one of my imps, like so, and explore my dungeon. The mouse is inverted in this, which is kind of annoying. I also have to use the arrow keys, which I really don't like. So I can now, for example, dig. I can also have a melee attack, which I can set with 2. And most creatures also learn other things. And the thing is, the map will be turned in such a way that I'm still facing the same way as I did when I left the symbiosis. So you do want to return to this view. You can also have a big map of the realm, which will also orient your map back to north. So every time you leave this big map here, your map will be automatically pointed towards the north, which is kind of helpful. Okay, more messages. If you want to make your creatures work harder, slap them by right-clicking with the hand of evil on them. Slapping will harm your creatures. That's why I said be careful and do it to imps. You can slap creatures to death. Use left mouse button to pluck your creatures from the dungeon. Use the right mouse button to drop them over a room. Yeah, I just said that, but thank you. Note that it has to be a room belonging to your dungeon, so it has to be one of those red tiles. Imps are an exception to that. I can actually drop an imp on those unclaimed tiles. I cannot drop creatures on tiles that I do not own or that somebody else owns. If I drop him here, it will make him want to claim rooms. I can also grab gold and put it into my treasure room. so. This is kind of important because gold is not actually owned until it's in my treasure room. I think your dungeon hut can handle some gold, but most of it will not be counted towards your bank account or your available money until it has been dumped off in a treasure room. So even if there's a ton of gold lying around on my dungeon floors, I can't use that. Okay, let's just go with this here. We've read this one. You also get an information if you tunnel into a new area, which is this watery bit here. And of course, don't do that. Greedily done, Keeper. Now, you need to turn some of your dungeon into a lair. Lairs are where creatures rest and recover. The area your imps just mined out would be an ideal spot for some creatures to lurk. Select the lair icon from the rooms panel. That's this one here. And as we've learned already, we can just drop a room. Now, you can't actually just drag it out. That has been something that's only added in Dungeon Keeper 2. Okay, drag a tunnel that connects to the portal to the north. Portals appear on the map as flashing squares until they are claimed. Creatures only use portals claimed by a keeper. Your imps claim a portal as soon as it connects to your dungeon. So yeah, we'll do that. This is a portal. It's how creatures get into your dungeon. I think each portal attracts a fixed amount of creatures, so each portal can only take in, like, I think 20 creatures for the first, and then 10 also for each subsequent portal. Some realms have several portals. But yeah, this is the first realm. And the creatures that come through your portal are heavily dependent on which rooms you own. Right now we only have a treasury and a lair. So the creatures, which is hardly that impressive, so the creatures that will come through are also hardly impressive. Getting a voice thing here telling us that a portal has been indeed claimed. Let's just stab onto it. What they're doing here is they actually build walls. Woohoo, your first minion has arrived. It's a giant fly. It can spit corrosive vomit at enemies, and its wings grant a hideous insect the speed to intercept the most nimble trespassers. Yes, but it's a fly. Flies are not exactly great. Each creature has its own lair. And, its own lair. You can mouse over it to see that. And while we're waiting for more important things to happen, a bit about rooms here. Each room has this little tag thing in it, and it's surrounded by a flame thing that will tell you what the hell or who owns it. The size of those flames shows you how effective the room is. Bigger rooms are more efficient. You generally want to have square or rectangular rooms, and the more efficient, for example, a treasure room is, the more or the bigger loot piles you can have in there. This here is the biggest pile of loot. This here is small, and I think this is as good as it gets. Green is, or the green bar is how occupied the room is. So right now we have 2 out of probably about 12 squares. I think each of those can house a creature. So yeah, that's how things go. And right now we only have insects because we don't have many rooms. A beetle has scuttled into your realm. It's tough enough to absorb a lot of damage. Like most creatures, beetles require food. Dig out a new area, select the hatchery icon and create your hatchery. Tasty snacks will soon emerge from the enchanted soil. Yeah, this is the first dungeon, so we're only getting those few rooms. And that's about it. This here is the dungeon heart. Do not lose this. If it's attacked, you're in trouble. Or, well, if it's destroyed. It can be attacked, it can soak up some damage, but if it's destroyed, you're done. It's game over. While your creatures die, you will get new ones from your portals. But if your dungeon heart dies, you're down. You also can't build here until the DMs have laid tiles. And it's the same with your hatchery, although it's actually... In this game it doesn't have to have a minimum size. Like this here is already working as a hatchery. However, it can only hold a few chickens. The hatchery will slowly fill up. Imps fortify your walls to prevent intruders from tunneling in. If you want to create more imps, go to research panel, select the imp icon and left click somewhere in your dungeon. Each imp you create costs more than the previous one. And this is one of the big limitations of that game. As you can see here, imps cost money. There is no mana bar or anything. So, in levels with finite monetary resources, you can only create so many imps and still pay your creatures. Now this here actually shows you what this creature wants to do. This obviously means they're gonna sleep. And there's also eating. This fly here, you can also force them. Like, if I put this fly into my hatchery, it will go and eat a chicken. Also, each creature has a different eating animation, although the first ones are not too impressive. Green message. Why not have a handful of creatures ready to drop on top of your intruders? To pick up creatures quickly, left-click on them from within the creatures panel. You can only drop creatures within the confines of your own dungeon. I've said that already, and there are 3 things here. This is the amount of creatures that do nothing. Intruders approach. They seek gaps in your fortifications in order to gain entry to your dungeon. A white trail on the map indicates their progress. Click the icon on the top of the control panel and get a bigger view. Yeah, we did that already as well. And this is why they have this watery bit here. Your imps can only fortify things that are adjacent to your dungeon. And while they are still going, so they always have an entry point here. You can't basically fortify out of that. So this here are creatures that do nothing. And these here are working creatures, and these here are fighting creatures. If I click on the icon here, I will pick up the strongest creature. Right now everything is level 1 because we cannot train anything. Okay, they'll take the long route. I was hoping they would go for the shorter one. But these guys, oh no, they now picked a more efficient way. And you'll generally want to make sure that there are always creatures somewhere you expect a raid. So for example, a treasury would be a terrible one to put here, because treasuries are only really used by your imps, and of course all creatures will go there during the payday. Lairs are a bit of a mixed bag, because on the one hand you will always have at least one creature in there, especially at this point in the game where they don't have anything else to do. But lairs will also be used by your injured creatures. So if enemies get into your lairs, and your creatures can't retreat there to rest and heal up. One of my personal favorites is actually putting a training room there once you get it, because the training room will always be used by fit and battle-hungry creatures, making it a prime location for enemies to barge in, giving you some impromptu training sessions. And now we only have to wait for the hapless heroes to actually break in. Not all heroes dig, by the way. It's only dwarves that will dig. You can see our lairs slowly filling up. The red bar here is the health of the room. A room is attacked by either heroes or other things. Oh, no, you don't do that. So once, we get a notification that somebody has breached into our dungeon. We can't fix that, so we'll have to work with that. And you also get this battle thing here. You can pluck creatures from the battle. I can, for example, pick this bug up, or this beetle up, and put it back into the lair. Sadly, since creatures are close to that anyway, they will just charge right back into battle. So in order to save this fly, for example, I have to pluck it out and keep it in my hand until the battle is over. I think it's fine now. So I can drop them off now. Creatures will also regain health by eating. And those guys here have left me some money. How very nice of them. As you can see, it's not worth anything now, and if I put it in here, I'll have 200 more money. Savor your first victory while you can. You have attracted the wrath of the Lord of this realm. His party will soon be here. I kind of want to be ready for that. And I kind of want to claim this, those tiles here, so I can drop things in there. I would like you to actually be fully rested. This little one here means the creature's level. Right now, it does not really increase. It will slowly do so. I think they will slowly gain experience in battle, but not enough in this run, really. Okay, the Lord of Land has arrived. I can smell his fear. Defeat him and the realm is yours. Yeah, he's gonna come in from somewhere here. There he is. I would like those flies not to charge into battle on their own. We'll want to use those beetles first. The fly itself, as you may imagine, is a weak creature, and we can also only hold 8 creatures in our hand at this point. Actually, at any point in the game. Only 8 creatures and or things. But now that we have this ready, we can actually put creatures right here, and that will make it a lot easier for us to save them, should the need for such a thing arise. Like this fly, we can now pluck it out of the battle, and dump it in its lair, and it will then rest and get some health back. That was a close one. We barely saved this one. If I slapped it now, it would actually die. And there is also a payday. I'm not sure what kind of frequency this would have. Like if this is a weekly thing, a monthly thing, a yearly thing. Who knows? By the way, imps do not fight. They will be attacked every now and then, but they generally try to not fight. They will only fight if they can't escape. And right now we have to wait for this. I can't slap the Lord of Land even though he is on my territory. I could cast spells on him, although I do not have any of those yet. And again, every spell is draining my my gold. Oops, that. You go back in there. Save this beetle though. As I said, I think we'd get new creatures if these guys were dying, but I'm not gonna risk that. This guy wants to have a meal, that's fine. Most creatures will have their kind of preference, which often coincides with what attracts them. So for example, a creature that is attracted by a training room will often try to spend time there. If you have a library, you will attract warlocks who will also try to spend time there. Your work is done. Now there is no one to prevent you from obliterating this nauseating realm and expanding your empire into a neighboring land. Nice. Land will actually die slowly, which is fine. We'll take that gold. Your imps would pick this up as well, but for now we'll do that. And they will also... yeah, success. This land is now ours. We can go through here, we could actually dig around in this if we wanted to, but this is a tutorial level. I don't think there's anything useful here. Although sometimes, a fun fact, if you point over the map, you can hear what's happening in this section. This also works in dark sections or in unexplored sections, so you can often hear, for example, what room is there. If you know there is an enemy, you can hear that there are heroes walking around there and so on, which is kind of nice. I find it very useful to know. And you can also hear dungeon hearts. Also, my mouse just does something weird. Okay, I can't move it anywhere else but up and down. I'm not sure what causes this, but we'll just hit space for now.
The region is, thanks to your unstinting efforts, now a major eyesore.
Woohoo! I feel so accomplished now. Here you get a bit of statistics for how you did. There's a whole lot of things the game keeps track of, although I'm not sure what lies told and some other things actually do. Okay, I'm gonna go into the next realm here.
A hideous sham of a town, in which the prosperous citizens have no gripes or moans. Sadly, even the children are happy and secure. This is because they are punished for non-existent crimes.
Okay, I'm gonna get in here, save the game, and then restart it. Unless, of course, this will now fix itself. Which sometimes magically happens. I don't know why. No, I cannot really move my mouse any meaningful way to the left or right, so I'm gonna save the game here. Luckily, I can still save that. This is LP1. You only have a limited amount of save games as well. Okay, I can't actually... Can I get out of this? Yes. So now it's letting me go a bit further to the left and right again. Okay, remember the lessons you've learned in Brana Hawk. You must build a treasure room, a lair, and a hatchery, and you will need to claim a portal. Build rooms in squares of at least 9 tiles to increase the efficiency of the room. There is one exception to that. Possess creatures by choosing the Possess spell from the research panel and left-clicking on the creature you want to control. Right-click to leave the creature again. Yeah, that's all nice and dandy. What I usually do first is surround my dungeon heart with treasury tiles. I actually did that automatically in Dungeon Keeper 2. The treasury does not need to be too much bigger, although it really depends on what you plan to do. So let's quickly check the realm out. By the way, heroes will not tile through, will not dig through gold tiles, as far as I'm aware. And as I have said in many other Let's Plays already, the size of rooms you want to go for is generally 5 by 5. When imps have no other orders, they run around reinforcing your dungeon. Fortified walls keep out intruders. Rooms with reinforced walls make your creatures feel more at home and heroes more terrified. So yes, there is a good reason to actually not always have your creatures or your imps busy. Then again, let's control. Then again, it does pay off at times. Okay, this is a smaller room. Actually 5 by 5. I think there's also a limit to how many tiles you can tag at once for excavating. Okay, this here will be the hatchery, I think. I'll put the lair right up this side. Actually, will I? Yeah, I will put this here. I don't know where heroes will come from. I will claim the portal once more rooms have been built. I also think I want to have some more imps like you. I think 5 imps are generally a good idea to have. The more of them you have, the quicker your stuff will happen, obviously. And in this game, sadly, imps do not gain experience by digging. In Dungeon Keeper 2 they actually do, but in Dungeon Keeper 1 you actually have to put your imps into the training room. Alright, I need more gold. Let's fix that. This gold seam here looks like a prime location for digging. Might as well make it a bigger one. Okay. Do I want to dig this out as well? Yeah, let's do it. I believe the rooms have to be of a certain size to attract creatures as well. Or to attract certain creatures. I know a dragon will be attracted by having a treasury of, I think 5 by 5 or 25 rooms. Or 25 tiles, not rooms. I will not turn this into a room actually, but I just like my rooms to be rectangular. There's the gold incoming, so we can now finish our lair. The types of creatures you can get are also limited by the level. Some creatures you can't get until later levels. And this here will be the hatchery. For a very simple reason. I like to have those central because creatures will often try to go from their jobs to have a snack and then go back to their jobs. So if you want them to be as productive as possible and basically spend as little time as possible walking around, you can just use that. Okay, we have all the rooms now. Let's go and claim that portal. You there. Dig. Okay, we'll now claim this and claim that portal. As I'm watching that, you see the little multicolor flames around it. This will change as soon as we claim this thing. By the way, I can also kick out creatures by dropping them on the portal. This does not work on imps. Imps are magically sustained. You will need to make your creatures stronger. In a training room, your creatures can hone their fighting skills, gain new abilities, and learn more powerful spells. So yes, we'll have a training room. And as I said, I want to put this... Actually, I want to make 2 connectors to that. Training room often goes very nicely right in between your lair and your hatchery. Like so. Now, something you need to know about training is that it costs money to do. But it's generally worth it because, especially later on, you will only encounter stronger enemies and somewhat leveled up heroes already. You need to claim this land as you go. Nice. Your imps will have to start from a tile adjacent to one tile you own, otherwise they cannot claim land, which is why I dug out this little section of wall earlier in the first level. What the audio quality is doing here. It's kind of dropping. Again, I do not know why exactly it is. Training room. Actually, 2 ways to get a dragon. One is obviously by attracting one. Your plan proceeds smoothly, Keeper. Allow your imps to fortify the walls of your dungeon. This increases the efficiency of rooms and repels would-be invaders. Indeed. Also, we now have a beetle. The training room attracts ever more ferocious creatures, such as a demon spawn. Build it, and they will come. If you build a training room big enough, in this case at least 3 by 3 tiles, you will get those things in there, and those will make for more efficient training methods. And as your creatures level up, they gain new abilities as well, so it's just like a Pokemon game. Now we have a demon spawn. To train creatures, drop them in the training room. The number that occasionally appears above a creature's head indicates how much gold it has cost for that creature to train. So obviously, training counts as working, and demon spawns will try to train most of the time. They're very workoutable. Beetles and flies, not. So for them to actually get a bit more buff, you want to drop them in here. This will actually kind of force them to train. You can train creatures more rapidly by slapping them as they work out in the training room. That sounds like a reasonable idea. You there, fly. Get moving. The point of Dungeon Keeper is... also, hello, Hella Stance. The point of Dungeon Keeper is to basically be an evil overlord. So you... Basically, you know how in most role-playing games you actually play as the hero invading a dungeon and looting it and destroying all the evil creatures within? In Dungeon Keeper, you are actually keeping that dungeon. Your job is to be the evil overlord. You want to destroy the land for no particular reason. And... yeah, in order to do that, we have to train those creatures. As you can see, those are kind of cheap. More impressive creatures are also more expensive to train. Also, as a creature gains experience and gets stronger, you will want to be aware that they will also grow in hunger and in celery. As can be seen here. This option allows them to flee the battle if they run low on health. This here is the amount of money we'll have to pay for the next payday. It also shows you the amount of time you have left, although it's hard to really pinpoint. It's not like I actually have a feeling for, okay, this will be the next 5 minutes or so. This will be your creatures. This is your amount of number of rooms. Now, rooms are only the things that you've built on, not the tiles you've claimed. Like this here does not count as a room. You can also right-click on this. This will show you how many of those rooms you have. And if you right-click on those, you can go there. If you have several, you can zip through those. This here shows you how occupied this room is. So this last level has plenty of room. The chicken head, or the hatchery is generally full. And if we just pick one of those demons, you there. If you just have this demon spawn eat, you will see that this bar will decrease. And it fill up. You can also slap chickens. This won't make them more efficient, it will just make them more mushy. Also, I don't like lazing flies and beetles, so I'll put those in training room. About demon spawns, you don't have to worry too much. As I said, those will generally try to work out on their own. I'm also not sure if I'm on the edge of my monetary capacity. Alright, something I want to point out here. Now, as you can see, those money piles don't grow as big as the ones we've had on the last level. That is because this treasury is not as efficient. I put another one in here, just for the sake of having one there. And also, just to make things a bit more quick. Is there any gold lying around here? Yeah, no, it's not. Fine. Just for the sake of showing you that. I can also drop money on a creature and kind of reward it that way. It will make it happy. If I put money on this tile here, you can see it will go up to this size. So this is the more efficient treasury. And it can hold more money. Oh, nice. Okay. So all we have to do now is basically wait for things to happen. The dungeon is progressing smoothly. And I want to expand from my training room. Actually, let's mark this kind of in advance. Don't do that. The mouse controls are a bit wonky because of, I think, because of DOSBox. Don't need that. Okay, and now creatures have reached level 2. And this has ramped up the cost for the next payday. We're still not in too much trouble. We're paying less than 1,000 for the next payday, and we have 18,000 left. There's also some more gold we can mine. Now note that this is all the gold in this level, so once this is used up, we'll be in trouble. Although sometimes heroes will also carry in gold from whatever, probably from the local tavern or so. Also, this counts as wasted chickens, just in case you've been wondering in the last mission debriefing. Also, you can see, or you can kind of guess the level of a creature by looking at its lair. Those here is this level 1 lair, and this level 2 lair. These here should be level 2 or 3 lairs. They're slightly bigger. Heroes are already on their way. Make sure creatures are well trained and ready for their attack. The heroes you will face in this realm are tougher than those you met beneath Brana Hawk. Oh yeah, each realm has a name. You can see it up here. Cozyton. Disgusting. Disgusting name. Okay, of course the heroes will pick the worst place to invade my dungeon. Or at least we have some buffer rooms for them to go through. I was hoping they would come from this direction. But we'll be ready for them. We will be absolutely ready for them. And now, if I click this, it will pick up the strongest creatures first, and then the weaker ones. So, we'll put them right in here. I could have just waited for them to do this, but... those in... those in... I don't particularly care about the flies. should be more heroes there. As you can see, this dwarf actually had some money. 500 gold, actually. We'll drop those in my treasury. Oh, and more flies. More heroes, rather. As you can see, the flies are not doing too well. I would like the imps actually explore this. And there are some dwarves. And right now I can't put anything there. Also know that dead bodies will actually piss off creatures a bit. So you'll want to be careful with that. But right now there's nothing we can do about this. Later on you actually find a way to use dead bodies as well. Obviously we don't want enemies to reach our dungeon heart. It can take a bit of damage, but it's nothing that you should rely on too much. Yeah, those heroes aren't too tough. I think the Lord of the Realm is a bit harder to kill. Would you mind killing this guy now? Like, seriously? I want to be careful when dropping creatures into treasury, because they will sometimes just help themselves to the treasures. You can see there the gold there was added straight to our inventory, or to our money. And there's the payday. Nothing too bad, as I said. It does pile up later on quite heavily, though. Also, excuse me for just a moment. Okay, I'm back. Oh, more heroes, and this time they will break right into my training room, which is absolutely fine. I'm very happy with that. We don't have to dig that out, though. So these guys will break into the training room and will face the most battle-hardened and battle-ready creatures possible. Oh yeah, my training room is actually full now. That's fine. I like it to be that way. That's the only excuse for not being in a training room. It's actually full. Now, I could build a bigger one, I could build a new one as well. I don't feel like doing that. There you can hear the... if you're careful, you can hear them actually dig through the walls there. And now they have made a critical mistake of breaking into the wrong room. Also, if I click this, I can see this, and I can see the level of the creature, the abilities of it. Demon spawns actually don't learn things until I think level 4 or 5. They can only attack, but they're pretty hard to kill. Pretty durable, very annoying, at least for the enemy. Yes. Yeah, this is why you want enemies to break into your training room. Later on we can also capture those people. Ooh, the Lord of the Land approaches. I don't know from where, but I hope he goes to the training room as well. Okay, yeah, we'll just keep training. The Lord of the Land will eventually show his face, if he's not too afraid. But he probably isn't. Oh, there he is. There he is. Trying to attack my imps. Just two creatures charging each other will actually count as a battle. And these guys, yeah, this guy tries to escape from the battle. These guys are charging into battle. That's how you want it to be. You want to have some buffer creatures to basically allow your weaker creatures to run away. I don't see much of a point in actually disabling this fleeing option here, because I generally prefer to maintain my creatures, and sometimes you actually don't get a portal. I think there are 1 or 2 realms that don't have a portal, so you have to work with what you get, and preserving your creatures is kind of vital for that. Hard the heroes may have been, but they were obviously no match for your forces. Yeah. The Lord of the Land is now dead, or he's still dying, but he's very, very much dead. They don't recover from that. Oops, don't do that. Gold. All in all, you don't want to actually pay your creatures extra money. There's only one exception, that is the Horned Reaper, or Horny, as he's called. Those guys are very easily pissed off, and you sometimes want to just give them some money to keep them quiet, and keep them not actually trying to tear into you. This here is basically a gap we can't bridge yet, so whatever is beyond here... Well, I can actually send an imp down here. I can drop him here, he will explore this bit. This is a hero portal. This is how heroes enter your realm. This is actually a hero dungeon. Sometimes heroes have their own dungeons with their own dungeon heart you can break. So on this side, I do not know. Fly. If you want to really make sure that things are getting explored, you can actually symbiosis into a fly and control it manually. Fun fact, this actually makes it... You can see there, if you're really careful, you can see the faceted eyes there. Which I think is a really nice touch. You can fly up and down with the fly. Obviously, not all creatures can fly, so you have to use that. There are no more creatures in this realm. Over on the side, we can also see the creature's stats. Ugh, I'm so bad at conjuring flies. So you can see the creature's stats. You have the happiness, which, as I said, drops from not being paid, from being slapped, from being hungry, and I think a few other things as well. But those are the big ones. Also not being fed, obviously. I have that. And from walking, from having to walk nearby corpses. Okay, since my controls just stopped working again, I'll have to actually have to escape. Last time that worked. Game saved. Okay, that's its space.
Surviving citizens have more on their plates than a demon spawn with 3 dead adventurers to munch. Not that many citizens have survived as such.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not sure what the style bonus here is, or the rating. Efficiency, I think, is kind of self-explanatory. Number of rooms, number of portals, slabs, cave-ins, skeletons raised. You can do all sorts of evil things here. Area claimed, chickens eaten, only 6. There should be chickens wasted here as well. Not sure where that is. Oh, there, chickens wasted 1. That was the one we slapped. Chickens will also die if you drop them outside of your hatchery. And there is also, fun fact, there is a spell that turns creatures into chickens. Which is kind of annoying to use. Anyway, I think that's a fine look into Dungeon Keeper. I think since the controls are acting weird now, I'll have to look into that. I'm going to cut the stream in the next area. If I can select it, that is.
No one here understands the true meaning of suffering and random shocking violence meted out
Yeah, let's go in here. It's going to be a shorter stream, but I have to work out the kinks here first. Okay, build a dungeon with a treasure room. Oh, now I can control the game again. So we'll make another mission here. Build a dungeon with a treasure room, a lair, a hatchery, and the training room. Make sure they're all big enough. Cramped conditions do nothing for the morale of your minions. You can also see that we're going to get one more room. The game is pretty good at tutorializing. Also, this is a pretty obvious thing you do want to explore at some point. It pays off to look at the map. Like this here is also a passage we probably want to look at. There should be a dungeon special there somewhere. Now let's start off with the usual process. Building a treasure room. Now you could also carve this out a bit further. But I don't like doing that. So let's plot out rooms here. I mean this is already a 5x5, and 5x5 is the generally most efficient way of handling things. Okay, this will be another treasury. We want to make a big hatchery, by the way. It pays off to have that the biggest room in your dungeon, because, as I said, most creatures later on will eat more, especially the more experience they get. They will be very hungry. They will be ravenous. Those of you who have watched the intro, the fat demon there, the bile demon, incredible thing. Very, very tough, but those can completely empty out a chicken farm on their own. So 5x5 is nothing for those. They will tear through that in one go. I think it's kind of cool that they gave all those creatures different traits and statistics and basically ways how they react, how they act. So we're gonna have 5 different rooms, meaning we need to have 5 rooms. So we'll make this actually the lair. So this will be hatchery. This here will become the training room. Not sure why the music just kicked up. Okay, we have set this. I think I'll carve this room out as well. Not that far though. Another thing you definitely want to have a look at is that. Obviously the map. Before you enter a realm, always look at the map and before you start digging. As I said, sometimes you can hear that, for example, a place is infested by heroes. In that case, you want to be careful about digging. You can also sometimes see the edges here. Like, this is probably a full room, or a full... there's probably no empty space around it. If we go here... Like, if you see little corners dug out of here, you will know that there is an open space there, and that means there might be heroes. Which you want to avoid angering for now. We currently don't have any creatures to fight with. So that is definitely something that you want to be careful about. Okay, we'll make this lair. Screw it. As much as I hate doing that, a small pathway like this. And put this in here. You there. Capture the land. One imp will do. They're kind of quick at capturing stuff. Okay, I said this will be the hatchery. Could I have another imp? Just finish that one. Okay. So hatchery it is. Also have to have that a bit earlier than the rest of your than you take your portal, because it needs a bit of time to basically load up on chickens. If you build it too late, obviously now there is not a single chicken. The eggs just grow from the ground, which is kind of weird. Not sure that's how eggs work, but it is how they do in Dungeon Keeper. So get digging. I like how creatures are basically sensitive to their surroundings. Like where you drop them will define what they will do. I also want to point out that every creature can actually do everything. So you can put flies into a library and they will research. They will not be good at it, but they will do research. Okay, that should probably do for all our treasure room needs. I don't know why the scrunk just... sometimes the mouse just gets stuck on the screen. Might be the DOSBox emulation there. Dungeon Keeper is a game that I think came out in 1996 or 94. So it's pretty much ancient by now, and it doesn't run on most machines. The link I gave you in the description is for GOG, which will come with a DOSBox setup for you. So once this place here has been carved out, which I will just expedite slightly, because we do want that portal soon. The hatchery is now almost fully developed. And later on there's another reason why you want the big hatchery. There are several ways to use chickens, not only to heal your own creatures, which can also be done almost in battle. Like if I just drop a chicken on a creature, it will eat it and it will regain health from it. And later on you can actually imprison other heroes and other creatures. And you can either cast a healing spell on them, which of course costs you money, or you can save some money by casting, or by just throwing chickens at them. Which will, depending on the creature, cost you a fair amount of chickens. As I said, a Bile Demon will go through a lot of chickens to get back to full health. And if you can also torture them, which will make them, well, first off, demonetize the video, and secondly, it will cause them to change sides. Although this might take a while and a fair bit of convincing, so that's a bit dangerous. Oh, wonderful! We now have an entrance. Now build a lair. That's fine, we have a lair. Ah, the time has come to build a library. Libraries are where new devices, room designs and magic spells are researched. Make a library at least as big as the other rooms. Researchers lack quiet too, so try to build your library off the side of a corridor. That's actually true. You don't want your library to be a room that's passed often. Especially warlocks will be very angry at you if they keep getting interrupted, and they will actually throw fireballs at, for example, passing imps. Okay, that, I think I just missed one message. The Scent of Arcane Knowledge has lured a greedy warlock into your dungeon. Don't forget to train your warlocks occasionally. Their spellcasting abilities make them fine long-range fighters. Indeed. Your new library will attract creatures like warlocks, who are interested in researching magic and dungeon designs. The evil mages are real bookworms, as well as being magically proficient themselves. So we now have a warlock. A creature will generally do two things when they enter. They will go to your dungeon heart first, like so, and basically swear allegiance to you, indicated by this little red thing there. Then they will make their home, which is this little tent symbol. You can help them with just not doing that. So he will then make his home somewhere here. They'll just pick a random spot, I believe. Although some creatures have preferences, like I think demon spawns like places near lava, if you have them. Also dragons, one of those. I think dragons, if you put them near lava, they will actually gain experience from sleeping, which is kind of cool. So we now have 2 warlocks. And we want to actually put one of them immediately into the library, into the training room. So, you there. Warlocks will spend most of their time researching until there is nothing left to research. But you want them to be at least one of them to be proficient in fighting as well. If we check the screen here, you can see this guy can only do melee right now, and they're not good at that. You don't want your warlocks to go into melee at all. They suck at it. They really do. So now we can have like one more spell, and then we actually have have researched everything that there is to research here. Yeah, now we get the obligatory flies and stuff. Those actually stop showing up later on, for the most part. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about those in later levels. They will not use up too much of your creature pool space, if you will. As I said, a portal can only attract, like, I think 20 creatures, although it might be less in this early level. Now that we actually have things, have training, we probably want to use some, want to take that gold here. I like just marking those gold seams for later. And what you really want to be looking at is our jewels. Those are basically infinite gold seams, so if you can secure yourself a gem vein, you're set. Especially if it's surrounded by accessible tiles, like if it's not surrounded by rock. This here is rock, you can't dig through that. For example, if this tile here were, or even this tile here, if this was free and this here would be a gem vein, you only have 3 imps digging at it at once, which would be, that could come from here. Like if those were rock tiles and this was a gem vein, and here was nothing, then you could only have 3 imps at once digging at it, which would be a bit slower than the other way around, like having it really accessible in the middle of, for example, a room like this. You will see what I mean soon. You there, move it. He's now reached level 2, so you can see he has now learned a fireball spell, and taken some damage because somebody slapped him. Also, if you take a warlock, take this one. These guys will actually, they actually grill that chicken, which is kind of cool. I love this. I don't want to dig this way. I don't know what's there. Since the game seems to give me trouble if I actually if I try to explore while or after finishing the Lord. I'll explore it now. I believe here might just be a library. But we'll see. Woohoo, a new spell has been researched. Speed up monster. Wonderful. Already research bears fruit. The speed creature spell has been perfected. Cast on a creature and observes a dramatic increase at its speed. The effect wears off after a while. That's fine. There is nothing left to research, I think. By the way, spells actually take up library spaces. So each spell will mean a bit of your library is taken away, which means every spell will take a bit longer because there are less library spaces for your warlocks to do. The game kind of helpfully hints that now would be a good time to train a warlock. Luckily we already have one trained up to at least Fireball, but they can also learn healing themselves in a vast area of other spells, so that's pretty damn cool. Why are you lazing about there? Oh, that's okay, that's a good excuse. I also kind of want to go down there. Like so. From here. Just dig up. I think at least one of those was a hidden thing. There are several dungeon specials you can find, which will also be dragged into your library, by the way. Only does that spell. And there's one more thing about spells that I want to show you. Let's just speed up this guy. If we hold that button, the spell will become more expensive, but it will also become, I think, more powerful, so it will deal more damage or... Oh, cool. Some skeletons here. Those are neutral creatures. They will basically join the first dungeon keeper they will meet. So if we put a imp... Oh no. So as soon as they cross our land, as soon as they step into our territory, those will be our skeletons. They're level 2, so that's kind of nice. And skeletons in Dungeon Keeper work just like any other creatures. In Dungeon Keeper 2 they are a bit more difficult to maintain because they will... Oh, look at that. Looks like we've got some heroes attacking us now. Could one of you lazy bastard imps take that land? I really want to have those skeletons before the enemies arrive. I'm probably going to sell this training room though, because it's... it only happens after a very long walk. I don't like this. I don't want creatures to walk all the way up there. Also, they're probably going to break into the library. Or to this currently empty room. Later on we also want to have several lairs. Because there are creatures that just don't get along very well. Especially, for example, undead, like skeletons, will not get along with other creatures. Another example would be warlocks and vampires. They don't like each other for some reason. And you don't want them to... Oh, look at that. Now we have those skeletons. And if we check this room now, you can see the health should be dropping at some point. Am I wrong? I hope not. Oh yeah, now you see the health is dropping of the room. Once it's at 0, this room will be ours. I think rooms slowly regenerate their health. But this one won't, because we're going to sell it. Selling gives you half the cost of the construction of the room. So since we didn't actually build this room, we just basically make profit out of it. If you haven't researched a room and you claim one of those kinds, you basically get the research as well, which is kind of handy. Okay, there's going to be a breach soon. And something you want to be careful with is where you place your creatures. So for example, those are melee creatures. You can drop them right into the fray. Your warlocks want to put a bit away from that. But these guys don't really stand a chance. So I'm not too concerned about this. This was quite easy. They were getting one about a breach. They had to do 2 breaches. Those little bastards, they had to do 2 breaches. Now you can't put the door in here, and you cannot build up walls. Once an area has been tunneled out and then walled out, it's open. So that's kind of annoying. Oh, there's definitely room for more treasures. I'd rather not have you do that. Come back here. And get buff. Something has been eating here. Okay, let's put some more supporters here. Yeah, they're handily winning. This guy doesn't seem to care. I don't like that. I don't want him to beeline straight to my... Oh, he goes for the treasury first. Will he attack my dungeon heart? That bastard. Oh, no, he tries to nick some treasure first. That's convenient. The first wave of attackers lie hacked to pieces on the floor and give your domain that lived-in feeling, but it surely won't be long before their kin launch another assault. That's fine, we'll be ready. You there have earned your meal. I'll put you in the hatchery. If I could have an imp actually explore and claim those tiles, I'd actually make 5 more imps. 2, 3, 4, 5. The cost has ramped up quite significantly, which is why I never want to go with too many imps. As I said, money is limited, so you don't want to blow all your money on imps and then have nothing left for your creatures to be paid with. Also, most hero dungeons often have like little treasure rooms and bits for you to claim. Let me know if the music is too loud. I've balanced it down a bit, but it might still be too loud, I don't know. There's the hero portal, so that's a good thing to claim. Let's make this guy a bit faster. Training room, I wanted to make it faster. So you there. Now you can see he's a bit blurred. And a lot quicker. Actually put another imp next to him. And see how quick he will claim land. This doesn't count because it's unclaimed land. But you can see in the time that this guy has claimed 1 tile, this guy has done at least 2. And if you get them some training, you imps will actually learn to accelerate themselves. They'll also learn to teleport around, which is something you can't do in Symbiosis, at least not targeted. You can actually go and dig this way. Yeah, I think I do. You can actually use the teleportation, but it will, if you're in Symbiosis with a creature, you will always get to the dungeon heart. To your dungeon heart, that is. And creatures can target it, so they can basically go where they want, which is kind of cool. Also, this is the wrong treasury. Now it's one pile of gold. Put it down there. I don't hear anything from here. There's outcroppings here. You can see this little corner there. This means this is an open space.
Beware, the Lord of the Land approaches.
Oh, does he? How very inconvenient. There you go, they attack your imps. Would you stop that? Okay, let's have some fun here. Stop hitting my imps. Your creatures are, by the way, not really like stunned after you drop them. Also, I think something is now something is going on. I'm not sure if the game is overloaded. It should not be, but apparently it's chugging a bit. So I'll probably cut the stream after this and let's zoom out a bit. Okay, that's fine. Let's go in here. See, this one dwarf is already almost dead. I'm not sure how the pairings here are chosen, by the way. was probably a bad idea. Look at all those fireballs. I think training those warlocks did pay off. Land also on the way. Oh, he's down here. He is down here. Could you guys perhaps go here? Can I claim this land? Okay, let's also drop in the skeletons. But level 4 will be very handy, very powerful. Okay.
Your minions are winning a battle.
Yeah, of course they are. They're good at that.
Your minions are winning a battle. You have conquered this realm.
Hooray! You meet with success yet again, Keeper. All these corpses will keep your hatcheries topsoil fertile. They will also serve as warnings to other foolhardy adventurers, of course. So there we go, the law of land is currently falling. I would like to explore this bit before my mouse stops responding again. It looks like my treasury is actually filled. That's not a big deal though, because we constantly will be burning money with the training. And of course with paydays, so we want to be careful now. But I want to know what's down here, so we'll just go there. Over here there is nothing really. But look at that, a little bit of a pathway. Hooray, success, this land is ours. Come on, hurry up. Oh yeah, walls are basically broken if they are surrounded by tiles of another dungeon, or of another player. Which is why those things here can now be carved out. You cannot claim walls. I would have to wait for my imps to actually claim those tiles, and to basically reinforce them once they have nothing to do. What I don't like about this is that imps reinforcing walls basically counts as lazy imps, so they would be counted here. Even though they are technically doing something that you might even want them to do. Close that down, please. You there. Dig. I'm not sure why the game is tracking all of a sudden. It should not be. This is a game that has been made for the like 468 processors. It should not be having any trouble running. So I suppose something else is currently sapping resources. Might be Firefox. Had a bit of a memory leak lately, at least for me. Yeah, you can see there's nothing here. So it looks like it's Firefox, but I like to have it running for the preview window. Let me terminate that. No, it's not Firefox. It is sapping a bit of CPU, but not too much. I think it's still causing problems. So one moment. Nah, we'll leave it for now. Okay, we need to grab another imp. To really cut down the Firefox now. I was hoping I could get around that, but it's not possible. Sorry. Just close that for now. Okay, I think that has fixed nothing. So we'll cut the stream after this. Also, one moment.
You have tunneled into a new area.
Oh yeah, looks like it was Firefox. Now we seem to be doing better again. I'll have a fly exploring this place a bit. Flies are generally very apt explorers. They will try to explore places very quickly. If you drop them into the unknown, they will go there. That's their real only purpose. They have no other purpose. They're flying bits, so they don't slow down by water. Unless, of course, I control them and fly them into the water. Creatures can't jump, but some creatures like vampires will not cross water. You have to build bridges for them. Which is making it a bit more difficult. Actually, a fair bit of water here. Also, I think you can cast spells on creatures that are not on your domain. So, if I hit this fly, the exploration spell, it will zip around the place. And for some reason, stop exploring right there. That's fine though. We're done with this realm.
With's Dread. This place now has a proper name because of what you did here. There is a healthy disrespect for life, and you'll be amused to hear that cannibalism has gained a strong foothold amongst the ragged inhabitants.
Lovely. We're doing so much for those realms. Okay, it looks like the stream is still going okay. So, what we'll do now, we'll probably enter the next dungeon. And then save the game.
Flower Hat. Polite bartering has led to extreme compassion and a surfeit of contentment in this area. Not even a thick-skinned troll could survive the understanding and help these scummy people can provide.
Also note how the places we have visited have turned a bit more black and red in color. You also have a bit of a change in the sky at some point. Like once we've burned enough places down, you will see a change, which is lovely. Build up your dungeon with the rooms available to you and claim the portal nearby, but do not yet venture north. Powerful adversaries lurk there. It would be wiser not to disturb them until you are prepared. So we'll start off with those rooms, and we'll have to research one. Yes, this here means you basically have infinite money, so there is no need for us to venture anywhere north. So that's infinite money for us. I'm going to save the game here though, because I think it's time to go to bed. So I will see you all soon, probably tomorrow, with more Dungeon Keeper. Thanks for watching, and bye.